All right, folks, we are now cooking, maybe not with gas, but we are now cooking. We have done the two basic videos to see the sort of elementary workflow of how Oauth is shifting information back and forth. And I'm just going to take a moment to repeat these because I think they bear repeating because Oauth is sort of weird and wonky stuff until you get a sense of what's going on. So the very first thing I did, this is a one-time thing. I registered an app within the authenticating system. In this case, it's Ion. I made somebody called Superfun. It gave me a client ID, and it gave me a client secret, and I told it where to redirect people to, redirect users to once they've logged in. I've got my web server sitting up over here. This is a Node web server. I'm using the simple Oauth 2 session. I've got some my client ID and my client secret. These guys are part of my server right now. The server knows them, and the server knows where to redirect people to as part of this package. As part of the initialization, I create an authorization link. This is the link. This link is created by the Oauth 2 package. I kind of log it over here, and this is the link. That this method creates the link where unverified users are going to be asked to go to verify themselves to Ion. So when I land at the page for the very first time, I render this unverified page over here. This is unverified by HBS over here, and you can see I render the login link, and the login link, I don't do any decoration on this thing. I just say, here is the link that you need to go to log into. If we go over into a web browser and we look at my page, I say, please log in here, and I get that link. Inside of this link are the ID and the redirect URI. So my client ID is not necessarily a secret over here. This is identifying my app to Ion, and it's telling where to redirect users to once they are done with Ion. Ideally, this would be embedded inside of a button or something cleaner so the user doesn't see this because this is scary to click on. When I click on it, I am going to be redirected to Ion. I go to Ion. I'm already logged into Ion, so it doesn't ask me to log in. If I hadn't logged in, it would ask me to log in. And it says, hey, some app named Superfun, clearly a credible app, is requiring the following permissions. They're looking to read my profile, right? So Superfun wants to read my profile information from Ion. Do you want to actually do this and authorize? Let's do it. Superfun seems like a good thing. So, okay, so now I've got this profile information over here. Let's take a look. So as soon as I click that, I was redirected back to user PC Cosec login worker, right? This was that redirect link that we had told Oauth 2, or that's the token path. This is where we said, hey, this is where we're going to be redirecting people to. Furthermore, Ion knows this. This is like a little bit of security over here. So Ion knows, like, okay, that's the safe place to redirect people to back for G9RS, you know. Cool, so that's where it redirected us to. And also, we said, hey, the grant type is going to be with an authorization code. So when it redirected individuals who've logged in back, it gave them this code. This code in director, oh, you want me to plug in the battery. Okie dokie. You happy? Okay. Computer is happy. So once we redirected back to login worker, here's my endpoint for login worker, we converted the code to a token over here. So I got the code, and in this method right here, the code and the secret were passed back to Ion, and we waited for this to happen. So this is an asynchronous method that's sort of embedded inside of this package, and my app verified itself because my password is correct. I logged that server response token over here. I've changed the name since the previous thing. It's now called convert code to token. But here's you can see my ID and my password and all this wonderful stuff. The access token is then given over here. This access token is what allows my server to act as the user who has just authenticated themselves. This is the secret. This is the thing that you want to protect. I'm doing something that's fundamentally bad right now by taking this information, right? And I teased out this token because we had the server response token.token, right? So we can see this. So this is this access token object over here, this is what I logged. Where did I log you? I logged it right here on line 85. Server response token, so this is access token dot token. I logged this guy, this whole thing. I took the token object, so I took just this object and I attached it to res.locals. Res.locals allows it to be passed through the middleware chain down to my final anonymous function over here. And I take him back out, res.locals object, and I take the access token string from my token object attached to the res.locals object. I now have this thing called access token over here, okay? Access token is then added to a profile and something within Ion, and I write this out to the end user over here. So let's take a look at what we got over here. I got this string. This is where the magic or the fun stuff kind of begins. That string is me, okay? There's nothing more needed than that string to act as me within read scope in Ion. I can get my profile with this string. Anybody who has this direct link with that particular token can get access to my profile information. So it would sort of stand to bear that you would think that this would want to be protected. You're not going to want to reveal this sort of information to the end user. But for example, if I take this and copy this and paste this in a new tab, Ion looks for profile with JSON and access token. There's my profile. Sure, here's my ID information. Yeah, great. If I were to open an incognito tab, same sort of business over here. We don't need anything more than this token for you to get profile information. Okay, so if you have this access token is something that you're going to want to keep. Remember, HTML is stateless, and the server doesn't know who you are coming in from one user to the next. So we're going to want to attach that to something that persists. We're going to want to keep this access token so that we can make requests in the background, so that we can say, hey, hello, Paul, and get their information and show them their birthday or what grade they're in or something like that. Like all of that information, the announcements, anything that we're looking for within inside of this ecosystem, this is all accessible by making web requests, making API requests, right? So this is an API request. In this case, it's a profile request, but you can see the whole the API tree is there. You can make all of those requests by just attaching this access token to there. And so each user is going to want to, you're going to want to make sure you store this for each individual user, and you can make requests in their name so that they can see their name and they can feel cozy and at home and get the warm fuzzies that Oauth will give them. Okay, rock and roll.